The Knicks won a thriller last night over the Sixers. It was an absolutely chaotic game. And now Knicks are up 2-0 over LeSean McCoy Sixers. But, Shady, you watched the game. It was one of the most thrilling playoff games we've seen thus far. And the game after it was just as crazy. So who do you blame for that Sixers collapse? You blow a 5-point lead literally in seconds. Let it out, big dog.
That's how I feel, Shady.
Let it out. 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 Let it out, big dog.
Yeah, I was just so mad. I had that mad like you just lost a parlay bet. And I didn't bet this game.
Thank God.
I was mad. Who do I blame?
Who you blame?
I don't blame the refs, right? I'm tired of hearing about the refs. I blame the coaching.
Number one.
And I gotta blame my boy.
Players.
Kyle Lowry.
Oh, just one player.
Bro, you 17 years in the league.
Ooh, that's
right? And let me break this down for a second. Because I know from playing football, right, how the coaching is in certain situations of a game where the coach, hey, in the huddle, he's gonna let us know. Listen, hey, they got 2 timeouts. We got this, we gotta hold on to the ball, stay in bounds. All these type of things you talk about.
Yep.
So I had to make sure I was cool. I called all my NBA homeboys, right?
Yeah.
Shout out to all my All-Stars. I hit y'all up. Thank you for hitting me back. And they said, yo, in these type of situations in the game, where it's like, okay, listen, after the timeout, yo, if they scored, because they were down, what, 5 or something like that? If they scored, hit a 3-ball, right? Try to inbound the ball, right? Run this certain play, run that play, the inbound play, wherever we disguise, wherever you do it. Or call a timeout. These things you talk about.
Yeah.
And Kyle Lowry, at this age, right, I think he's a phenomenal player. He's smart. He's tough. He's a leader. But the best attribute you have ain't your skill set if you could dribble great or you could score a lot of points. It's your smarts and your experience. Call the timeout. Take your time. We had the ones on the ropes.
Yeah.
We played great defense. And even Embiid being hurt, he's still balling out.
Yeah.
Maxey played phenomenal.
Yes, sir.
So I'm blaming the coaching and I'm blaming the leadership, man. And I'm not going to say Kyle Lowry individually.
Yeah.
But I'm saying as a whole, like, you smart to know that. Like, bro, call the timeout. Let's get this thing moving. I'm still hurt.
I'll be very quick because I agree with Shady on it. I blame all of the players. As you were talking, I had to do some math to make sure I'm not tripping. 58 years of experience combined on the court for the Sixers. 58 years. That's only 5 starters, family.
Yeah.
So on average, each one of those players has played, what, 12, 11 years and change, 58 years. So between Lowry, between Batum, between Harris, between Embiid, between Maxey, someone in that moment has to say, you know what, we're stressed, it's chaotic, call timeout. Now, I'm with Shady. I would lean Lowry because he's a point. Not only is he a point, he's been in the NBA for the longest amount of time.
17, bro.
But Batum out there, too.
Yeah.
He done played for 16.
Yeah.
Tobias out there, too. He done played for 13, 14. Embiid out there, too. He done played for 8. Maxey ain't no rookie. He done played for 4. So between all of those players and all of that NBA experience, in the midst of pure pandemonium, no one realized, you know what, let's just call a timeout. I blame the players, Joy Taylor.
This is so brutal. I will say, shout out to the Knicks because they played a really tough game. They played all the way through to the ends. They should not have won this game.
No,
it was
shouldn't.
supposed to be over, and this is what happens when you want it.
Yeah.
And you go and take it. Now, some factors played into that. I do think that the refs needed to give the timeout. The coach is calling a timeout. Nobody can grant a timeout except for the refs. I do think the players should have called a timeout. This is chaotic. You know you're running up and down. You're trying to get the ball in. Call a timeout. I think there's blame enough to go around. And look, the NBA gods decided that it was not your night. I don't think this was a bad game by anybody in particular. I mean, it's going down to the wire, but situational ball matters.
Yeah.
And honestly, when you get into the postseason, situational ball is one of the most important things. We talk about this in the NFL all the time. Knowing when to call a timeout, time management, knowing where you're supposed to be, knowing what your assignment is. It's no different here. All of this just sort of fell apart. They should have won this game, but honestly, good on the Knicks. I think it's on the refs. I think it's on the players. I think it's on coaching to get everyone prepared.
What part of the refs? The lack of foul call or the lack of timeout call?
No. I'm not talking about the fouls. I don't want to get into that. I'm with Shady. I don't care about the fouls Everyone's getting fouled. I don't even want the refs getting involved in this part of the game when it comes to fouls. Like, I know that doesn't make sense because you should call the game the same way through the entirety of the game, but we know that they don't when it gets down to the wire and you're banging around. But he's calling a timeout.
But the hard part for me, because I went back and rewatched, I'm sure y'all saw the split screen of Nurse calling a timeout when the ball's in play.
Was on the ground.
Nurse was like, he was playing with it, Joy. Like, I was with you. I was like, yo, give him the timeout, especially when I read the quote, Nurse at the podium saying, I don't know what else to do. I called timeout. Then I went back and watched it. I'm like, Nurse, you ain't called no timeout.
Pump faking?
What? He was here with it, and then as soon as Lowry inbounds it, he pulls back from the timeout. Then the ball's on the ground, he here with it, and then as soon as whoever it was who loses possession, Maxey loses possession, and then he tries to, I'm like,
they need to be more assertive about it. I mean, I understand the complaints because the refs know that there's a chance that a timeout is going to be called in this situation as well. They're not new. So you are looking for these things. It's not like the refs always know that there's a chance it's going to be a timeout called, which is why I don't entirely put it on the refs. Kyle Lowry, honestly, is probably the one to point to because if Nurse is being not fully committal with it, he's the one who has the ball. So certainly the refs are watching.
And another thing is, how you gonna call timeout when he's trying to get the ball in so fast? Did you see it? Kyle Lowry swung at the ball, so they score.
Trying to inbound it quickly.
Grab the ball, which is smart. But my thing is like, yo, if the defense is tight,
that's when you call the timeout.
And I also remember though, Joy, because I've had this complaint once before, and the ref was like, look, it ain't my job to find you.
No doubt.
It's your job, coach, to find me.
100%.
So it's like, it ain't the ref's job to be like, Nurse, do you want to call a timeout? Nurse, you gotta.
But your 17-year vet can't call the timeout.
He can, once he sees that. But, you know, I played receiver in the National Football League, and that's one reason why I fell in love with basketball. Because when you play receiver, I gotta depend on the quarterback to be good.
Yep.
I got to depend on the O-line to be good, pick up, to block. I got to depend on Shady to be good, to pick up these blitzes. Yep. And then I have to depend on the quarterback to choose me to throw the ball to. The main reason why I love basketball, go get the dang ball. I tell my kids all the time, you mad they ain't passing? Steal it. Go get a rebound. Don't pass it to nobody. The fourth quarter, game on the line, and I got tape to show you. We want to blame timeouts. We want to blame coaches.
Who you blaming?
Go get the ball. The shot goes up. You see the big man highlighted right there. Look at these 4 Sixers. What we doing? We ain't got nobody boxing out. We ain't got nobody jumping off the ground. The Knicks got more hunger than you. Ball kicked out. Game time.
Splash.
You mad? You sitting in there, you got your interviews and all that type of stuff. Go get the rebound. And the game is over. That's 4 Sixers, 1 Knick, and the Knick gets the ball, open shot. So you want to win, it's the playoffs, go get the dang rebound, man.
And that's what the Knicks are, though. Knicks is like a scrappy team. If you got to go from star to star, we beat them. Sixers.
No question.
Right? But they got that grit in their heart. They lose their second best player, and you can't even tell the difference.
And not only that, their best player ain't playing well. Brunson been on live.
That's defense. That's defense.
That's what I'm saying.
And I hear James, I mean, I can't even argue about that, right? Now, I ain't like him. I ain't goes, he made a great point. I'm going to let him ride. But even that point, it's like, yo, we had the ball, though. You talking on defense, right? We mess up, then they hit the tray. I get that. But before that, we had it's us. We winning. They scored, like, 28 seconds with 8 points. Come on, what is that?
They don't get it if you go get the rebound,
all I'm saying is,
it ain't even no taking the ball out.
No talent, right? No athletic ability.
Yeah, just execute.
Just fundamentals, bro. Call the timeout. Coach, draw the play up. If you watch when they inbound the ball, Max is the only one trying to get the ball. Everybody else is watching. The defense is tight on him. If you can say they're watching. Oh, okay, what's going on? No. Stop the plays that y'all talking about in the huddle. I hate, you know this? I just hate bad play. If it's football or basketball, right? I don't care how good you are or how bad you are, right? This bad play, I hate it because I know that y'all talked about this in the huddle.
And I know y'all talked about boxing out, too. Shot go up,
that's true.
Body on the body, box somebody out, go get the rebound. It's 4 and 1. My man going up getting the rebound.
Come on, man.
Before we leave, though, let's get this straight. We're going to win this series. I'm with this. We're going to win this series.
I hope they do.
Yeah.
Subscribe here to get the latest from Speak and go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.